This is the EdExcel GCSE 9-1 Maths Foundation Paper 3 from the November 2021 series. Question number 1, we have to write 45% as a decimal. Percentage means out of 100, and so we have here 45 out of 100, and if I work out what this is, as a decimal, we get 0.45. So 45% as a decimal is 0.45. Question number 2, we have to write down two factors of 35. Well, if I write down the factors of 35, 1 times 35 gives 35, and 5 times by 7 gives 35. So when we come to write down two factors of 35, we could, for example, write down 5 and 7. Question number 3. What is the time 2 hours 40 minutes after 8:05 AM? Well, we start off with 8:05 AM, and then we add to this 2 hours and 40 minutes. If I add on 2 hours, I get 10:05 AM, and then another 40 minutes after that. It turns out we get 10:45 AM. We have 10:45 AM. Question number 4. We have to work out 1/6 of 66. That is the same as multiplying 66 by 1/6, and it turns out we get 11. Question number 5. AB is a straight line. We have to mark with a cross the midpoint of AB. Well, if we measure AB, we get 8 centimeters, and half of that is 4, and so therefore the midpoint is 4 centimeters from A, or 4 centimeters from B. Here is the midpoint of AB. Question number 6, we have to simplify A times B times 4. Well, what we end up with over here is 4A B. Next, we have to simplify 4x plus 3 subtract x plus 5. 4x subtract x is 3x. 3 plus 5 is 8. We end up with 3x plus 8. Question number 7. There are 3 cards in bag A and 2 cards in bag B. There is a letter on each card. With bag A, we got E, F, and G, and with bag B, we've got J and K. James takes a card from bag A and then a card from bag B. We have to list all the possible outcomes. Well, we could have E paired with the J. We could also have E paired with the K. We could have the F paired with the J, or the F paired with the K. Or we could have G paired with the J, or we could have G paired with the K. Here are all the possible outcomes. Question number 8. On Monday, Sandy pays for 2 plane tickets, 7 nights in a hotel, and 2 theme park tickets. Each plane ticket costs $600. Each night in a hotel is £120. Each theme park ticket costs $250. We have to show that Sandy pays more than $2,500 on Monday. Well, what will the cost be? The cost, that's equal to, well, we've got 2 plane tickets, so we've got 2 times by 600. What we also have are 7 nights in a hotel, so we've got 7 times by 120, and then we have each theme park ticket costing 250. We've got 2 of those, so we've got 2 times by 250. And so if I work out what this is, we get $2,540, and this is greater than the $2,500. Question number 9. Vadim has 56 clocks. The clocks are only red, only blue, or only black. 32 of the clocks are plastic. 5 of the 14 blue clocks are plastic. 8 of the 12 red clocks are not plastic. We have to use this information to complete the two-way table. First of all, we've got 56 clocks in total, and we know that 32 of those are plastic, and we know that 5 of the 14 blue clocks are plastic, so that means we've got 14 blue in total, and then we've got 5 of those which are plastic. We also know that 8 of the 12 red clocks are not plastic, so that means we've got 12 red in total, and of those 12, 8 of them are not plastic. And with this we can complete the two-way table. 4 plus 8 is 12. 5 plus 9 is 14. 32 take away 5 take away 4 is 23. 56 take away 32 is 24. 56 take away 14 take away 12 is 30. 30 take away 23 is 7. So we've got 14 red plastic, 9 blue non-plastic, 23 black plastic, 7 black non-plastic, a total of 24 which are not plastic, and a total of 30 which are black. Question number 10. Karina has £300 to spend on books. Each book costs £4.85. We have to work out the greatest number of books Karina can buy. Well, she can buy 300 divided by 485. This is the greatest number of books she can buy. And it turns out here we get 61.855, etc. And so if I round down, I get 61. Question number 11. For part A, we have to write 196 minutes in hours and minutes. Well, here, to go from hours to minutes, I times by 60, and minutes to hours, I divide by 60. And so if I've got 196 minutes, if I divide this by 60, it turns out we get 3.26 etc. hours. And what we have then is 3 hours, and this 0.26 etc. hours I can convert into minutes by multiplying by 60. And so it turns out we get 3 hours, 16 minutes. Then, a train travels X miles in 2 hours. We have to write down an expression in terms of X for the average speed of the train. Well, we have over here X miles travelled into hours. And so for our expression for the average speed in miles per hour, we have X over 2. Question number 12. The diagram shows 2 places on a map. We've got Shelton and Trilby. We've got a scale, 1 centimetre represents 20 kilometres. And for part A, what is the actual distance in kilometres from Shelton to Trilby? Well, if I measure from S to T, you can see that is 2.5 centimetres. And so when we come to work out the actual distance, I have to multiply this 2.5 by 20. I know that 1 centimetre represents 20 kilometres, and so 2.5 centimetres I have to multiply by 2.5, and so it turns out we get 50 kilometres. Then, on the scale drawing, the scale is given as 1 to 1200. How many meters does 5 centimeters represent on this drawing? So what we are saying over here, we've got 1 to 1200. And if I have 5 centimeters, then in real life, I multiply by 5, and it turns out here we get 6,000 centimeters. And so therefore, 6,000 centimeters is equal to 60 meters. Question number 13. In the northern hemisphere, the ratio of the area of land to the area of water is 2 to 3. We have to work out what percentage of the area of the northern hemisphere is land. So we've got the ratio of the land to water equaling 2 to 3. We can find out the total number of parts we have. We've got in total 2 plus 3, which is 5. We've got 5 parts in total, and of those, 2 of them is land. So we've got 2/5, which we need to convert into a percentage, and we do this by multiplying by 100. And it turns out here we would get 40%. Then 20% of the area in the southern hemisphere is land. We have to work out the ratio of the area of land to the area of water in the southern hemisphere. Well, if I think about the ratio of land to water, 20% is land, which means 80% is water. And so therefore, our ratio is 20 to 80. Can I simplify this? Well, I can simplify it to 2 to 8, which is the same as 1 to 4. So I've got 1 to 4. Question number 14. A stadium costs £600 million. 13/15 of this cost was for the building. The rest of the cost was for the land. We have to work out the cost of the land. Well, the fraction of land, that will be 1 subtract 13/15, which is 2/15. And so what we need to do then, to work out the cost of the land, we need to work out 2/15 of 600 million. And so therefore, 2/15 times 600 million, that is equal to 80 million. And so therefore, we have 80 million. Question number 15. Jenna measures all of the angles around a point. Her results are 23 degrees, 145 degrees, 23 degrees and 69 degrees. We have to explain why these results cannot be true. Well, angles around a point sum to 360. So, if I add 23, 145, 23 and 69 together, it turns out we get 260. And we know that this does not equal 360 degrees. And the 360 degrees comes from the fact that angles around a point sum to 360. The angles currently do not add up to 360, which is why the results cannot be true. Question number 16. Here is a diagram showing triangle ABC and triangle ADE. What we have to do is describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle ABC onto triangle ADE. Well, the triangle is getting 4 times bigger. Here we have 1. Here we have 4. And so therefore, since the triangle is getting bigger by 4 times, we've got an enlargement scale factor 4 with centre 1, 1. Question number 17 for part A, we have to expand y multiplied by y plus 5. Y times by y gives y squared. Y times by 5 gives 5y. Next we have to factorise 4a subtract 6. What's common to the numbers is 2, and inside the bracket we would have 2a subtract 3. Part C, we have to solve 2 multiplied by 5x minus 4 equals 21. Let's expand the brackets. 2 times 5x is 10x, 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and this is equal to 21. If I add 8 to both sides, that means 10x is equal to 29, and if we divide both sides by 10, then what we end up with is x equaling 2.9. For part D, we have to simplify 4e squared f multiplied by 5e f cubed. 4 times by 5 is 20. E squared times e, that's e cubed. F times f cubed, that's f to the power of 4. So we end up with 20e cubed f to the 4. Question number 18, we have to change 1 meter squared into centimeter squared. Well, if I've got a square here with area 1 meter squared, then that means each side of the square will equal 1 meter. We've got 1 meter by 1 meter. And so if I change this to centimeters, what we would have instead of 1 meter is 100 centimeters. And so the area here is 100 times 100, which is 10,000 centimeters squared. Question number 19. This diagram shows 2 squares, and what we have to do is work out the area of the square shown shaded in the diagram. Well, what we can do is find out the area of these 4 little triangles, the area of the large square, and then subtract them. So, we've got the dimensions of the outer large square, 8 centimeters by 8 centimeters, and that comes from the fact of adding 3 and 5 centimeters together. And so, the area of the large square, we've got 8 times by 8, which is 64 centimeters squared. What we can now do is find out the area of the 4 triangles. So what we can do now is work out the area of the 4 triangles. And if I work that out, well, I've got 4, and then the area of each triangle is 1/2 times by 5 times by 3. So that's the same as 2 times 5 times 3, which is 30 centimeters squared. And so therefore, the shaded area, that's equal to 64 subtract 30, which is equal to 34 centimeters squared. Question number 20. Here are the heights in centimeters of 15 plants. And what we have to do is draw a stem and leaf diagram. So, first of all, if we add everything in as we're going along, in order, we've got here the smallest number, which is 15, so we start off with that. Then after that we have 17. After that we've got the 18. And then we've got 19 and another 19. So let's cross those off. And then we've got 20. So let's cross that off. And then we've got 22 twice. So let's cross those off. Then we've got 24. And then we've got 25. And then we've got another 25. And then we've got the 28. And then we've got the 32. Then we've got 33. And then 35. So when we come to show our key, the 1 with the line and then the 5, that would represent 15 centimeters. Question number 21. The scatter graph shows information about the volume of traffic and the carbon monoxide level at a point on a road each day for 22 days. So we've got the volume of traffic, in other words, the number of cars, and the carbon monoxide level, milligrams per meter cubed. One point is an outlier. We have to write down the coordinates of this point. Well, if I take a look, I've got all these points over here, but then this one stands out. It's an outlier. The coordinates of that, we've got 100, 18. Then, for another day, 370 cars pass the point on the road. We have to estimate the carbon monoxide level for this day. Well, first of all, we need to draw a line of best fit. So if I draw a line of best fit, we have something looking like this. And then what we need to do, we need to estimate the carbon monoxide level for this day. So 370 cars. We draw a line up from 370, which is over here, and then a line across. It turns out we get 13.6. So we have 13.6 milligrams per meter cubed. And then Alfie says, because there is an outlier, there is no correlation. Is Alfie correct? You must give a reason for your answer. Well, this point can be disregarded from the general trend, so he's incorrect. Question number 22. We've got Natalie, who makes potato cakes in a restaurant. She mixes potato, cheese and onion so that the weight of potato to the weight of cheese to the weight of onion is in the ratio 9 to 2 to 1. Natalie needs to make 6,000 grams of potato cakes. Cheese costs £2.25 for 175 grams. We have to work out the cost of cheese needed to make 6,000 grams of potato cakes. Now here, we can represent this ratio using the bar model. And that's what we see here. We've got 9 to 2 to 1. Now we know that she needs to make 6,000 grams in total. So altogether, she needs to make 6,000 grams. Now altogether we've got 9 plus 2 plus 1, which is 12. So each box is going to be worth 6,000 divided by 12, which is 500. So I've got 500 here and 500 here for cheese. And each box is going to be worth 500. So in total, for cheese then, we've got 500 plus 500, which is 1,000 grams. We've got 1,000 grams of cheese. Now, we know that already, in terms of the cost, we've got 175 grams, which is equal to £2.25. We want to find out the cost of making 6,000 grams of potato cakes. We have 1,000 grams of cheese. So we need to find out what this cost is. Well, to go from the 175 to 1,000, what do I times by? Well, that's 40 over 7. So I need to multiply this side by 40 over 7. So 225 times 40 over 7, I get 1286. So I have £12.86. Question 23. For part A, we have to write 4.5 times 10 to the 5 as an ordinary number. Well, I've got this 4.5 and I'm multiplying it by 10 to the 5. So I move the decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. I fill the rest in with zeros. And so what we end up with is 450,000. Then for part B, we have to write 0.007 in standard form. Now you will recall for standard form, that's when a number is written as a times by 10 to the power of n, where a is in between 1 and 10. And so what I need to do here is move this decimal place 1, 2, 3 to the left, rather 3 to the right, leaving me with 7 times 10 to the negative 3. And now we have to work out 4.2 times 10 to the 3 plus 5.3 times 10 to the 2 in standard form. Well, I've got this 4.2 times 10 to the 3, that's already in standard form. And my final answer needs to be in standard form. Now, we can change this 5.3 times 10 to the 2 such that I've got something times 10 to the 3, because then it becomes easy to add. And if I times this value by 10 to get 10 to the 3, I need to divide the 5.3 by 10, leaving me with 0.53. So I end up with 0.53 times 10 to the 3. And if I add all this together, I get 4.73 times 10 to the power of 3. So I end up with 4.73 times 10 to the power of 3. Question 24. A water tank is empty. Neil needs to fill the tank with 2,400 litres of water. Company A supplies water at a rate of 8 litres in 1 minute 40 seconds. Company B supplies water at a rate of 2.2 gallons per minute. 1 gallon is 4.54 litres. Company A would take more time to fill the tank than Company B would take to fill the tank. How much more time? Give your answer in minutes, correct to the nearest minute. Well, let's take a look at Company A. If I take a look at Company A, the rate is equal to 8 divided by, well, I've got over here 8 litres, and we're pouring it 8 litres in 1 minute 40 seconds. Now 40 seconds, that in minutes, if I divide it by 60, that's 2/3. So here I have 1 minute and 2/3 of a minute added together, which is 1 2/3. So I've got the rate, which is 8 litres per 1 2/3 minute. And so the time it takes to fill the 2,400 litres of water that's equal to, well, I've got the 2,400 litres, and then I divide this by 8 divided by 1 2/3, which is my rate. And if I work out the time, I've got 2,400 divided by 8 and 1 2/3. So it turns out the time is 500 minutes. Let's take a look at Company B. If I take a look at Company B, the rate over here is equal to 2.2. Now here I've got 2.2 gallons per minute. So here I've got 2.2 gallons per minute. And so therefore, if I multiply 2.2 by 4.54, it turns out I get 9.988. So here I have 9.988 litres per minute. And so if we were to work out the time it takes for Company B, that's equal to 2,400 litres divided by 9.988 litres per minute. So if I work this out, it turns out I get 240.28 etc. minutes. And so therefore the difference between these, 500 take away 240.28, that's equal to 259.71 minutes, which is to the nearest minute given us 260 minutes. Question number 5. The first 4 terms of a Fibonacci sequence, we've got A, 2A, 3A and 5A. the sum of the first 5 terms of the sequence is 228. We have to work out the value of a. Well, for a Fibonacci sequence, we add the 2 previous to get the next one. So 3a is found by adding a and 2a, 5a is found by adding 2a and 3a. So for the next term, I need to add the 3a and the 5a to get 8a. And so therefore, the sum of all these is equal to 228. So I have a plus 2a plus 3a plus 5a plus 8a. That's equal to 228. 19a is equal to 228. A is equal to 12. So the value of a is 12. Question number 26. In a bag there are only red counters, blue counters, green counters and pink counters. A counter is going to be taken at random from the bag. The table shows the probabilities of taking a red counter or a blue counter. And the probability of taking a green counter is 0.2 more than the probability of taking a pink counter. With this, we have to complete the table. Well, if I say that the probability of taking a pink counter is x, then the probability of green is 0.2 more than this. So here I have x plus 0.2. And I know that probability adds up to 1. So I've got probability of red plus the probability of blue plus the probability of green plus the probability of pink. That's equal to 1. So I have 2x plus 0.4 equals 1. 2x is 0.6. X is 0.3. So I have 0.3 here and 0.5, which is 0.2 more than the 0.3. Now there are 18 blue counters in the bag, and with this we have to work out the total number of counters in the bag. Well, what we have is 18 blue counters. And so if that 18 counters is represented by 0.15, that means for 0.05 I need to do 18 divided by 3, which is 6. And then if I double the 0.15, I get 0.3. So doubling the 18, I get 36. And then to find out what green is, well, 0.3 plus 0.15 plus 0.05 is 0.5. So 36 plus 18 plus 6 is 60. So there's 60 green. And so if we were to work out the total number of counters, we've got 6 plus 18 plus 60 plus 36, and that's equal to 120. We've got 120 counters in total. Question number 27. The diagram shows a sector OPQR of a circle centre O and radius 8 cm. OPR is a triangle, and what we have to do is work out the area of the shaded segment PQR, give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Well, we've got a quarter circle. What we can do is find out the area of that quarter circle. The area of the quarter circle, I've got pi times by the radius squared, and then I need to divide this by 4. So the area of the quarter circle is equal to 64 divided by 4, which is 16 pi centimeters squared. We can now find out the area of this triangle. The area of the triangle is given by 1/2 times 8 times 8, which is 32. And so when we come to work out the shaded area, we've got the area of the quarter circle, 16 pi, take away the 32. And so if I work out what this is, 16 pi, take away 32, it turns out we get 18.26, etc., centimetres squared, which to three significant figures is 18.3. Question number 28. We have to sketch the graph of y equals 1 over x. Here is the graph of y equals 1 over x. We've got asymptotes at y equals 0 and x equals 0. The curve shouldn't touch the x and y axis.